Delighted to say with me now is AFC Wimbledon defender Chris Gunter. Chris, it's great to have you with us here. You've been, of course, a part of 7 clean sheets in League Two for the Dons this season. What do you put that defensive solidity down to?
Work on the training pitch, I think. Something that the team is sort of really focused on, not just the sort of the back 4 or 5 that we've been having in Tans. I think the boys in midfield and the ones up front all take great pride in it. So yeah, it's something that we work hard on, and you know, over the last sort of 2-3 months we've been getting the rewards of clean sheets and looking really solid. So yeah, a team effort, good coaching and an application from all the players.
There's a lot of characters out there on the training pitch. You constantly hear from the likes of Lee Brown and Harry Pell, but somebody you know very well indeed, Alex Pearce. He's always talking out there, but one of the key words he always seems to use is calm when everything's going on around you. How important is that?
Yeah, well, I think in anything you do on the pitch, you know, attacking or defending, you need an element of calm. And yeah, I think when as a team we are in good moments, everything does look quite calm, aggressive and focused. So yeah, I think, as I touched on, not just the back 4 and Tans in goal, but whoever's on the pitch in whatever position, that the aim when we haven't got the ball is to make it as difficult as possible for the opposition, and recently we've been doing that really well.
But also whoever's come into the team as well, because a while back we had a very young defensive line. I mean, Huss, Jack Curry, Riley Towler, of course, Paul Callan-By. It's changed around again now, and you know from experience that can happen. But that understanding that's developed amongst you all, though, that must be so important.
Yeah, I think as a team, defensively, we have a structure. So really, whoever's playing and is selected, you know, it doesn't change too much because the foundations are there. So yeah, that's football. People all come in and out of the team through various reasons, and it's up to the ones who are playing on any given day, you know, to do and fit into what the team wants and needs, and continue, like we said, defensively, you know, what we've been doing. And yeah, you know, through the course of a long season that you're going to need, you know, a squad of players. And yeah, whoever's playing, you know, recently has been doing really well.
Let's talk a little bit about yourself and your time that you've had here so far, because you've been at some very big clubs previously, but coming here to as well, there's sort of like a family feel to it, a community feel to it. Are you able to bring the family down on a match day? Do they get involved at all?
Yeah, so they've come to games, and I think generally you're right. You feel it around the club on a daily basis. In terms of the Matchday experience, is one that anybody who's come to watch me has really enjoyed. It's a really good place to come and watch football, and generally at home we've done quite well. So there's been some good games there this season, and yeah, really enjoying my time. I feel there's a lot of good people, you know, in and around the club. Everybody's really humble, wants themselves and each other to do well, and when you can have that in a club, it's a powerful thing.
It seems to be falling into place at the moment as well, because I think since mid-October we've only had 2 defeats in the league. What do you make of the form?
Form's good. You want to be greedy and have more victories, more points than, you know, probably what you're getting. And in certain games I think we've deserved more than what we've got, and in some others, you know, we've probably capitalised on some good fortune. But I think in the main the form's been good. The form's one thing. The performances on the whole have been really consistent, and we're really close to turning, you know, 1 point into 3, and making it look even better. So yeah, I feel we're in a good position. There seems to be an energy and positivity around the players, the squad, the staff and the fans alike. I thought the fans on Tuesday were exceptional, you know, on the midweek, and more often than not you can't really fool supporters, and and pull the wool over their eyes, and I thought the reaction at the end, they know what they're seeing on the pitch, and sort of that connection between players and fans alike is really important, and yeah, whilst we have that, we'll always be in a good position.
That's good to hear. In terms of goals though, that's the key thing at the moment. We've seen plenty of goals of course from Josh Davison, from Ethan Chislett. Who's moved on, he was a fantastic player for us, but does experience kind of tell you you've got to give these new players time, and the attacking talent that we've got time on this?
Yeah, in recent times we haven't been as free scored as we want. Me personally, I feel that's more of a reflection on the team. Our attacking boys have more than enough quality to be scoring goals and creating chances as a team, like we do defensively. And I touched on everybody needs to work for that clean sheet. Starting from the top, for us to be scoring goals, more often than not, it starts from way before it gets to our attacking players and the strikers. So yeah, it's up to us to be giving them the opportunities to score goals. And yeah, sometimes in football I find that you have little runs of little cycles where you go 1 or 2 games without scoring, and people start to maybe question it, and then before you know it, you score 2-3 goals in a couple of games, and you look back and think, oh, do you remember that time when we were talking about having a few games where we weren't scoring? So it's important, that word of, like we said before, staying calm. If we're not, for whatever reason, scoring a lot of goals in a period, then it's important that we are solid as a team and we're still picking up points, because it'll come, and our attacking players and the options that we have at this club are huge. So yeah, before long the quality is going to come through, and then we can marry up the out of possession stuff with the ball, and we'll be fine.
The atmosphere in the dressing room seems really good, even though the personnel have changed quite a bit in the last month. You've got experience of sorting out the playlist for the Welsh squad. Do they let you near that here as well? Do you have to get a real mixture together for that?
Yeah, different, slightly different crowd here. It changes game by game, but no, generally they let me get on with it, and there's not too many complaints. So yeah, I often ask what some of the boys want to hear, especially on the home game when we're in the change room for longer. Get some strange requests at times, but no, generally yeah, it's a place where whatever's on, there's always something happening, and yeah, the playlist just seems to add to it.
Some of them you probably know. Do some of them you have to probably do a little bit of research on?
Yeah, to be fair, I do enjoy my music, so I'm sort of quite aware of most of the songs, but if not, Spotify is one of my most used apps on my phone, so if there's a song out there that is not on Spotify, then it probably says more about the person and what they're requesting than anything else, yeah. How
do you find the Matchday atmosphere at the new stadium? How's that sort of shaping up for you?
Yeah, good. The attendances have been really consistent. I'm not sure, obviously, in the past exactly what the attendances were, but it seems every game feels the same in terms of the amount of people coming in, and that's probably a reflection on the team as well and what they're seeing. And yeah, our job is always to give them as much chance to make an atmosphere by what we're doing. But no, generally that every game, whether it's been a Tuesday evenings, one's at home or a Saturday, they're there without fail, and there's nothing better than on at 5 o'clock on a Saturday when the game's finished, they've come and watched, and everyone's on a high from winning the game. So yeah, like I said before, there's a good energy around the place at the moment. It seems like everyone it seems quite happy and looking forward, and hopefully we can have a good end to the season and see where it takes us.
Absolutely. The training sessions as well out there, they're always sort of very lively indeed. Johnny Jackson very well as well. He loves getting involved still, doesn't he? You can't take that out of him, never lose it.
No, he when the opportunity is there for him to join in, he does, especially on sort of the stuff away from the tactical side where he's not coaching as much. But yeah, his quality when he was a player was top, and that's probably the last thing to go when you not that he's old, but in terms of you can lose a little bit of sharpness and stuff, but your quality is the last thing to go. And if he was looking in on the session, you probably wouldn't realise he wasn't a player at times. And he when the session's going on like he was at Charlton and here, the way he conducts himself, it's top drawer, and the lads really enjoy it, and that adds to the atmosphere. He's the one that leads it all, and that's why there's a good atmosphere around the place, is because him and his staff, I like that and give us the opportunity then to go with it as well.
He still enjoys pinging the ball in from distance, doesn't he? But he was a big influence on getting you to here, yeah? Yeah,
he was someone who I've known for quite a long time, and even just away from the actual on the pitch stuff, the way he treats people, first of all, as people, and not so much a footballer. And that's all you ever want as a player, is somebody that is honest and you can speak to, and is quite straightforward, and that's what he is, a real good guy. And then added to that, the actual football side, which he's very good at, the information he gives and how he wants you to work and the things he asks for you. Yeah, that's why, in his short time as a manager, he's had, in my opinion, sort of a lot of success in terms of how his team looks and plays and the results that he gets. So yeah, he'll no doubt go on to have a really long and successful managerial career, added by some really good staff around him, and yeah, it's our job to make sure that we're doing what they say and everybody's happy.
Go! Go, buddy! Get up! Who's making it out to? Where we going to, Chiz? Where we going to, Chiz? Just enough.
Comes to that part in the interview where we talk about your career with Wales as well. You went to a World Cup. How do you look back on that now?
A lot of pride. One that the experience for us as a country was something we always wanted to achieve and do. Get into a World Cup. The performances in some of the games weren't to the level that we've set ourselves, I think, as a team and as a squad in recent times, and there'll always be that sort of frustration and disappointment. But I think when you look at the bigger picture of us being at a World Cup, the knock-on effect it's going to have for us as a country for the next 5, 10, 15 years is massive. And we're now in a position where we're qualifying for major tournaments often, so we have to to understand the expectation and the different pressures and how we're seen from outside, continue it really. But in terms of when you was a kid growing up in Wales, if you said you was ever going to go with your country to a World Cup, that was something that seemed a long way in the distance for Wales as a country. So for us to have done it is fantastic, and the aim now for us is to go on, tournament after tournament, getting there, qualifying, and slowly, making an impact on that world stage, which there's no doubt we will, for not just the short term, but I think the longer term as well, because the foundations now are in place for us as a country to do that.
Is it one of those things that perhaps you'll look back on a lot more when your career finally comes to an end, the enormity of it, of what you achieved with that group?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, football is, you play a game, you enjoy it for a short time, and before you know it, you're instantly looking at the next one. There's no time really to sometimes take in what's going on and what's happening, because you're always looking forward and setting new targets and goals. So I think generally in my career as a whole, that when you look back on stuff, that'll probably be the time, because at the minute when you're playing and there's always another game or something, no one really cares. You don't care, because like I say, you're always preparing for the next thing. But yeah, I think when we look back, and certainly the fans and people around Wales, no doubt they were over Christmas doing that and thinking they probably never expect to see Wales at a World Cup. Now we've done it, like I say, the challenge is to go to the next one and the one after, and yeah, we'll always have been the sort of the first squad to have done it, but I think that's our job as players is to give people the opportunities in the future to do that, and it was a real good experience for us all.
You've had your record taken away from you, of course, of being the most capped player by Wales, but you did say to me a long time ago, of course, as well, that Gareth Bale is the greatest Welsh player ever in history. He's out playing golf now. How do you feel about that? Or will we see him in a Wales shirt perhaps again someday?
Well, I mean, I think I'm more jealous of what he's doing now with his golf. I think the thought of retirement and how he's seen it in terms of the tournament in golf he played in the other day was probably exceeded all his expectations of what he was doing. So he holds, and rightly so, a lot of sort of records, if you want to call it that, in Wales, because he's the greatest player we've ever produced, and for me his goal scoring record will stand for long after we're all around. I don't think anyone will get close to that for a very long time. So for me, having a certain amount of caps and all that type of stuff is amazing on an individual basis, but I always said from a really young age, I would swap caps to have the experience of playing for my country in a major tournament and doing that side of things. It's great saying I've got 50 caps, 100 caps or whatever, but there's people in the past that have got a lot of caps and not had the experiences of being able to go to on a world stage and play. So that's brilliant, but in terms of being part of a successful team is a lot more important to me, and what we are now as a country and as a footballing nation, from when I first started, is something that we care about a lot, and I only see good things in the future, like I said, in the short term with some of the players we have coming through, but also as an organisation for the longer term.
Also, I remember doing an interview with Johnny at the time, just when Wales had gone out of the competition, and he said to me that you were really keen to get back here to help the boys. You were onto them straight away. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, we were texting after the England game was a Tuesday evening, and then I said that I'd rather get straight back in. So I think we landed home at 10 o'clock on the Thursday evening into Cardiff, and then sort of went back home and came in on the Friday, and I wanted to just almost get straight back into it. I'm not one that sort of enjoys a lot of time off when the players here are training and playing and preparing for games and stuff. I'd rather just be involved. So got straight back to it, and I didn't play on the Saturday obviously, but made it a lot nicer that we won that game, sort of having landed only 24 hours earlier. So it was a busy week, but ended really well in terms of us winning on the Saturday. So it was a strange experience in terms of being at a tournament mid-season, and obviously us carrying on, but since, like you said, mid-October or so, performances and results have been quite good. So all in all, it's been a decent couple of months.
Of course, another thing that's happened this season for you as well, I guess it'd be another thing you look back upon when the playing days are over, but you've already reached 700 career appearances now, which is an amazing landmark. What's the next goal?
The next goal is the weekend, and after that the one after, and then the Tuesday or whenever. I think with more experience you have, looking too far into trying to achieve games and stuff like that, you can never predict. So I've always been a real short-term thinker, if you like, in terms of that, and we had a game obviously in the week, now another one on the weekend, and it's a really busy time coming up. So whatever happens, but the most important thing is Saturday, and after that it'll be the next game, and just rolling on like that really. So yeah, all that type of stuff will be something when I'm long retired and looking back on. Like I say, games are amazing for people to say you've reached a certain amount of games and stuff, but you know your job is as a footballer is to play games of football. So I never see it as, you know, a huge pat on the back because you know I'm paid to play football. So you know that's how I see it as my job and put everything into it. So yeah, it's a nice one to reach, but like I said, wins and stuff like that is more important to me.
You've played with some very special talents in your career, some young talent coming through. At this club, Jack Curry, Hussein Bieler as well now. What have you made of the impact they've had this season?
Yeah, really good. I think you can judge sometimes a young player on when you go to a game and you see them play, you know, almost can you spot if it is their first season or their first couple of games, and I think with those two especially, you wouldn't know, but you know, it's sort of their first taste of first team and first team football. They look the same as anyone else in terms of their performances. So yeah, I think JC set a real marker down for a lot of people at this club probably, and younger players of getting his chance, and I think he's been superb all season. You know, his performances and his level of performances for, you know, his first taste really of sort of back-to-back games has been amazing, which then has a knock-on effect to people like us probably, and see that JC can do it and set that standard. So those two, yeah, in particular have been superb, and you know will go on to have really good, you know, footballing careers because they don't really get carried away with doing well. They want to learn, and they're open to learning and improving, and that's one of the most important things for young players is their attitude, and those two have certainly got it.
It's brilliant to hear. The game against Newport, one I think that you and the family will be looking out for in particular, your place of birth, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the ideal weekend. We was obviously all the way down there, and we called off quite late. So yeah, it'd be nice to go back there. I've never played there, you know, for an opposition club. So yeah, it'll be a nice evening if we get the, you know, the performance and result that we're after. If not, then no, I won't take too much else from that one.
Brilliant, Gunts. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much indeed for spending time with us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.